It is important to be impatient with injustice and cruelty, and there's a healthy outrage that we should be exhibiting in terms of what's currently happening, both here and around the world.
Barack Hussein Obama. That was at a Planned Parenthood gathering. That's the cruelty of it all. Will anyone stop this man? Yeah, Barack Obama came out. He's got a lot of gonads. He's the guy that gave us the Iran nuclear program buried underground, where they enrich uranium and spin centrifuges and advance their ballistic missile program. And he shipped them airplanes full of cash money on pallets, shrink-wrapped. Not even dollars, they're euros. What was it, 1.7 billion? Hey, Iran, you're the world's leading state sponsors of terror. You want to wipe Israel off the map? Why don't you enrich uranium, spin centrifuges, advance your ballistic missile program, and here's a bunch of cash just in case. How many countries did Obama bomb? The greatest number of any president since World War II. A total of 8 countries Barack Obama attacked using the U.S. military by various means. It was all Muslims, too. It was all Muslims. Aren't they amazing, the Democrats? And he has some kind of temerity. I'll use a clean word. I'll say temerity, coming out and saying the things that he said yesterday. And I've got Barack Obama's latest for you. A very good and happy Thursday to you. Welcome back once again. We continue to be reachable at 888-630-9625. So much going on in the world. Today is a federal holiday. Michael Piercy driving in from work. He doesn't live as close to work as I do. I live pretty close to work. I got to work lickety-split today, lickety-split. And just a few minutes away, cut my drive time in half today. And for Michael Piercy, I think it must have cut your drive time by more than half today. Got in earlier than I've ever seen him. He was in at like 4 a.m. He wasn't really. He was in later than that. But he was still in earlier than ever. So what's with that? What are you doing in so early? And he said, hey, it's Juneteenth. There's no traffic on the road. Oh, okay. That says Juneteenth. That's kind of fun. That's a good thing. So well, we should mention, because Juneteenth is good. Juneteenth marks the occasion. It was June 19th of 1865. That's some time ago now, you may be aware. June 19th, 1865. The Democrats had lost the Civil War to the Republicans. And interestingly enough, kind of interesting, June 19th, but Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated April 15th of 1865 by a Democrat, John Wilkes Booth, who really loved slavery. Kind of like the Democrats today, like the Democrat congresswoman who wants to have illegal aliens in the United States to wipe her private parts because, and you got to have, we got that lady with the blonde hair too, who, those 1%ers, they want illegal aliens to cut their lawns and clean their kitchens and do their dishes. And she's talking about herself, of course, because she's a Democrat, and were it not for double standards, liberals would have no standards at all. But interestingly enough, yes, Abraham Lincoln assassinated April 15th of 1865. And then the last Republicans and a major general in the Union Army, Gordon Granger, he arrived at the Emancipation Proclamation, which was an executive order, by the way, by Abraham Lincoln, who the Democrats then murdered because they didn't want emancipation or a proclamation or anything like that. They always hated proclamations. Remarkable stuff. But in Texas, after the end of the war, the Democrats were still holding out, and they're like, no, we're keeping slavery over here, until the Major General, Gordon Granger, arrived and said, hey, everybody, hey, black people, come over here, because it turns out the Republicans had ended all this slavery stuff long ago, and it was just for Democrats listening along. This was before the age of the Internet. So not everybody had a smartphone. Not everybody was dialed into the Google machine, and they didn't know. But on this Juneteenth, I think we should celebrate the Republican Party. I think this should be every year. This should be, oh, thank the world for the Republican Party for finally stopping the Democrats from, and now what are they doing? Now they want illegal aliens by the millions to do their slave work for them and to wipe their undercarriage. Need a good hosing down, these people. Pretty amazing stuff. Yes, indeed. Now, by 1865, by June of 1865, almost all of enslaved people in the United States had been freed by the victorious Union Army, because the Union Army under Abraham Lincoln, the Republican president, had been fighting the Confederate Army under Democrat Jefferson Davis. And the Democrats, they really like the bullwhip, and, there are all kinds of things they like. Not just Robert Mapplethorpe. I know I keep referring to Robert Mapplethorpe and the bullwhip. Maybe we should put that picture out. Just kidding. We really shouldn't. But the Democrats, they loved that one for a while, didn't they? Amazing stuff. Yes, sir. But the Congress, the Republicans in Congress, in January of 1865, had already proposed the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Now, the Democrats are trying to use that to protect their illegal alien gang members from Venezuela because they love crime. Oh, speaking of which, we've got them loving crime yesterday, too, because you know how much they love crime. They're very big on crime. They love violence. They raise criminals. They shouldn't be allowed to own guns or fly on commercial airliners. I think they should be all registered Democrats should be on the no-fly list. But we've got another one yesterday. You know how they love Luigi Mangione, who murdered the CEO in New York because he was a CEO and he worked for an insurance company, and the Democrats hate CEOs and they hate insurance companies, and it was a healthcare insurance company. They hate healthcare, too, because Barack Obama fixed healthcare, and it was all better. Remarkable stuff, these guys. But yesterday they got another chance to because it's, what did I text yesterday? As the Democrats say, celebrate diversity. And then I scratched the word diversity and replaced it with the word murder, because the Democrats yesterday, there were a throng of them, a large cabal outside the courthouse where a woman named Karen Reed was found not guilty of murdering her boyfriend, a police officer in Massachusetts, Gesundheit. And she was found not guilty, and there was a crowd outside, and weren't they wearing pink hats and stuff? What do they call those again? And they were cheering, and they were thrilled, they were exuberant, they were having such a great time. I'm not kidding. This is Democrats celebrating a not guilty verdict in a murder trial. And she's not even Luigi Mangione. Although a lot of them may want to date her, too, you know. You know how they are. They like dating around. Where do you think monkeypox comes from, anyway? Karen Reed found not guilty of murder in retrial in boyfriend's death. Reed was also acquitted of 2 lesser charges in the death of John O'Keefe. She was convicted of operating a vehicle under the influence, and so she got a DUI or something like that. Sentenced to 1 year of probation, so they can still date her. Remarkable stuff. And, she was found not guilty. And you know how they love cheering Luigi Mangione when Luigi Mangione shows up in public. They line up, and the women wear tight clothing, and they line the sidewalks and the hallways, and they cheer Luigi Mangione, and they I don't know what they take, but there's something terribly wrong with them. They should probably scale back on whatever it is they're taking.
You have, Luigi fever, though?
Yeah, of course I have Luigi fever, yeah.
This is what he did good.
It's great, actually. I believe we should do more.
Did Luigi do the right thing?
I think he did what needed to be done.
Should every healthcare CEO be unalived?
Needed to be done.
Only the corrupt ones, yes.
Oh, the corrupt ones. And how do you decide which ones are corrupt? Well, we'll kill them first and decide later, because we're the left, and we'll celebrate death wherever we find it. Hey, here's a free pass to Planned Parenthood. You can have that. Well, it's not free, but somebody else paid for it, so you can consider it free. And the remarkable things, they love the Karen Bass being found not guilty. Why? What do they know about it? They have no idea what the details of the case are. They just see murder, and they celebrate it. Celebrate murder. We love Karen. They mean it. They really seem to mean it. Boy, do they love Karen. They love her because they think she might be guilty. They're thinking, if the more guilty she is, the more we love her. Aren't they amazing? Just great stuff. Well, we've got a lot going on today. We have Democrats on the loose everywhere, and they celebrate diversity and murder. There are two things they really love. Diversity, they don't know what that word means, and murder, they do know what that word means because they are the left. Boy, are they the left. They are truly something. Extraordinary stuff. We've got a lot to share with you. The situation between Israel, Iran, and the United States of America, and President Donald Trump, who ran on no more foreign wars and no forever wars and all of that. And as we talked about it yesterday, a bit at least, and there is more to say today. Now, I've got to say there are news organizations all over Washington, D.C., that ordered their reporters to go to work last night and to stay there overnight. If you cover the Pentagon or the White House or the State Department or even Congress, news organizations said, listen, we're going to have to ask you to stay till midnight, and then Luigi's going to come in and replace you. Not Luigi Mangione, just some other Luigi. Come in and replace, because they were staffing overnight because they were saying, well, the B-2 bombers out of Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri may fly and drop bunker busters on Fordo, the deeply buried underground nuclear facility that Barack Obama allowed to continue to operate, where they enrich uranium and spin centrifuges so they can make nuclear weapons with which they would wipe out civilization itself. And Obama said, that sounds good to me. I never really liked people either. So Hussein, he set us up for this. And there is nobody in the news media talking about the fact. And he assigned Boltneck, John Boltneck Kerry, who is, I think, maybe the illegitimate descendant of Boris Karloff. Do you think he could be an illegitimate descendant of Boris Karloff? Who, of course, played the monster in Frankenstein. And remarkable things going on in the world. And, yeah, Barack Obama reemerged. Yeah, I was talking yesterday, wasn't I? Where's Barack Obama in all this? Why isn't the media talking to Barack Obama? And no. Until he popped up. Maybe he was listening to my radio show, and he said, Chris is right. He's got a $12 million mansion over by the main mosque in Washington. He loves the sound of the call to prayer. Doesn't really love Western civilization very much. But he lives over by the main mosque, and Barack Obama re-emerged at long last yesterday and began prattling on, babbling, as he always has. And you'll be surprised to learn that he was very self-righteous and left out all of the important details about his role in the current global military crisis, which the table was set for all of this by Barack Hussein Obama and by John Boltneck Kerry years ago, when they say, hey, we're in charge. We can really screw this place up. What can we do? Well, let's load up the transport planes with cash, pallets of cash, shrink-wrapped. Let's fly those planes over where we can deliver the cash to Iran, to the Ayatollahs, while we send Boltneck over there on his wife's private plane or maybe on a big government plane. He's got to fly private. He's very important. And honestly, he offsets with his wife's money, so don't worry about any of that. We've got that. We've got a lot going on today. Karen Reed being cheered. They love murder. They love death more than we love life. They have stolen Al-Qaeda's old saying the Democrat Party has. I've got the U.S. government. This is great. Apparently they got Irish people in charge. U.S. government has decided to drop all guidance when it comes to limiting the consumption of alcohol to 1 or 2 drinks a day. They got O'Shaughnessy or somebody in there saying, hey, no, we can all just drink until we fall down. I don't have a drinking problem. I drink, I get drunk, I fall down, no problem. But the U.S. government is catching up with an Irish guy in a bar somewhere. They're going to drop all guidance when it comes to limiting your alcohol consumption to 1 or 2 drinks a day. Hi, ta-tai, ta-tai, pa-ta-ta-tai, pa-toi. Hoy, it's so nice to see us. Isn't that great? And What about visas? Visas for people coming in, foreign students, so many of whom are part of the jihad. Well, the Trump administration has an update on that. And they're going to be taking a look at social media because you might be coming here to set Holocaust survivors on fire, something like that. So many Democrats. Oh, we got Whoopi Goldberg, whose real name is Karen Johnson. We've got her. This country is a terrible, terrible country. She knows because Iran or Israel or something. So yesterday, ABC News, Karen Johnson, Whoopi Goldberg attacking the United States. Remarkable stuff. We've got that. And not only did Barack Obama emerge yesterday, Bill Clinton emerged yesterday, too. Kind of surprising since it was hump day. Must have been late in the day. We continue to be at 888-630-9625.
They will get a weapon one way or the other as a result of not accepting this agreement.
Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. Now, the Secretary of the Department of Treasury, Scott Bessent, was on a podcast. Wasn't everybody? Pod Force One, where we learned some very interesting news, and that is that in the United States of America, wages, that's money, income, kind of important for blue-collar employees across the United States, increasing under Donald Trump, but not under Joe Biden or Barack Obama, any of those guys. Here's the Secretary of the Department of Treasury, Scott Bessent, talking to, hey, wait, this is a real good thing.
Blue-collar wage growth, the only other time it's been this high, wait for it, was during President Trump's first term. So we've seen real wages for hourly workers, non-supervisory workers, rise almost 2% in the first 5 months.
Why is that?
No president has done that before.
And why is that?
It's the president's emphasis on manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to Miranda Devine, the great reporter, the great American Miranda Devine, who, was breaking news all over the place about Hunter Biden's laptop and was being shut down by the communists at the time, and because they don't like the truth and they'll roll over it with a steamroller, like in Austin Powers. The super slow steamroller. Yeah, Miranda Devine, her podcast one. Good stuff. Yeah, and wages for blue-collar employees across the country, he said up almost 2%. I think it's 1.7%. However, that sounds like, well, that's not very much. Well, it's the most that we've seen in 59 years, almost 60 years. Last time we saw wage growth like this for blue-collar employees, Richard Nixon was president of the United States. I think I see a trend emerging here. Now, we all know that the Democrat Party is the party of political violence. I just talked about it a few minutes ago because it's Juneteenth. That's June 19th. It's a combination of the word June and the word 19th, so we call it Juneteenth. And it's when the last Republicans arrived at the last Democrat still engaging in slavery outpost and said, hey, this is over. And that officially put a punctuation mark, an exclamation point at the end of slavery in the United States. You know, we declared independence from Great Britain, from the United Kingdom, from the King in 1776. And in 1777, Vermont outlawed slavery, and the United States of America began outlawing slavery across this great land of ours that the British Crown had saddled us with. And then the Democrats fought for all the way through the end of the Civil War and beyond. Then they became, like Daisy Duke and all that stuff. But never mind that. Remarkable things going on. Now, the Democrat Party, there have been 4 American presidents assassinated in the history of the country. The first 3 presidents assassinated were all Republican presidents, assassinated by Democrats and their allies. And then John F. Kennedy was assassinated by a communist. Either that or by the deep state. You decide. Either way, the Democrat Party has ties to Lee Harvey Oswald and the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and the Republican Party does not. By the way, I always like to point this out because it's kind of a fun American fact. Lee Harvey Oswald's widow, Marina Oswald, is still alive and well and living in the United States of America. And Marina, and she's not guilty of anything, she came from the Soviet Union because the communist Lee Harvey Oswald he really liked Russia and the Soviet Union then. And he went there and he met his bride. She is from originally the northern city of Severodvinsk on the White Sea near Archangel. I've actually been to Severodvinsk, to the Soviet/Russian submarine base there at Severodvinsk. In fact, we flew into Archangel and aboard a U.S. Air Force jet in order to motorcade over to Severodvinsk, where Marina Oswald originally came from. I just like to remind, and they had 2 kids, and the 2 kids of Lee Harvey Oswald and Marina Oswald from the Soviet Union, the 2 kids are alive and well, living in the United States too. And they also committed no crime, committed no wrong at all. They're not guilty of it, and it's one of the great things about our country is that and she remarried, I think, Porter, somebody named Porter, who also died a couple of years ago. But the Oswald family is still alive. And again, the only Democrat ever to be assassinated by a Soviet-loving communist. Kind of perfect. First 3 American presidents to be assassinated are all Republican presidents, including the first ever Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, who took their slaves away. Donald Trump might take away their today's slaves, their illegal aliens, right? And I want to get to that lady too. We have that lady in the thing, right? That we didn't get to yesterday. I want to get to her, and then she goes with a new soundbite today, right? Oh yeah, that's right, the Hollywood idiot. Let's go to this lady. She's been bopping around here for a couple of days. This lady posted a video of herself. We believe that she's in California, the crazed state of California. Used to be the Golden State. Now it's the Golden Shower State. Isn't that kind of different? I think that's a different thing altogether. But here's this Democrat lady who does not identify herself by name, posting a video. She's really angry with those awful, terrible, rich people who allegedly elected Donald Trump. Again, blue-collar wages up under Donald Trump more than we've seen in 60 years, 59 years since Richard Nixon, and that's okay. But here's the Democrat lady, and then I want to get to that idiot actor, Mark Ruffalo, and he's like in some comic book movie or something, right? Not a good actor. I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA. I am a member of SAG-AFTRA, technically. And if I showed up on a movie set tomorrow, I'd be a better actor than Mark Ruffalo. Without a day I'd want to read through the script once, but then I'd be a better actor than him. All right, now, here's the Democrat lady complaining about everything going on in the world because they like their illegal aliens. Boy, do they like their illegal aliens.
So I'm in my beautiful city, L.A., and I have friends texting me like all morning. My gardener didn't show up. My housekeeper didn't show up. My farmer's market was closed. Everyone's scared. Well, this is not going to just happen in L.A. And you 1%ers that only voted for Trump because of money? Guess what? You're going to have to do your own dishes or clean your own house or mow your own lawn and that wonderful produce, the organic produce you get for your brunches?
It's organic.
All gone.
It's all gone. Why?
You're going to actually have to do some work around your house.
What?
These people are important.
These people are important. These illegal aliens are very, very important because who's going to do all your slave labor for you? Who's going to pick? I love the organic because she lives in L.A. Who's going to pick your organic vegetables for you? Who's going to clean your dishes? Who's going to? And that reminds us, of course, of the Democrat member of Congress who goes by the name Becca Balint. Becca Balint is a member of Congress. And she was asked, hey, why do you like illegal aliens in the country so much? Why do you want millions and millions of illegal aliens in the country? Just amazing. Congresswoman Becca Balint.
If we don't have avenues for people to come here, we're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses.
Yeah, I'm not going to have anybody around to wipe our beeps. And she's from Vermont. That's where the socialist who loves the Soviet Union, it keeps going back to the Soviet Union because Bernie Sanders honeymooned in the Soviet Union with his wife, who then bankrupted that college. They own 3 beautiful properties, multi-million-dollar landowner. Is he? Isn't he amazing? So the and this lady, my beautiful city, I hate slavery. Well, actually, you love slavery. That's what you love. My gardener didn't show up. My housekeeper didn't show up. My farmer's market was closed. Oh, the hardship of it all. We should drop her out of a B-2 bomber over Iran. Along with a bunch of Democrats, we should make them a cluster munition, since they're already a cluster or something. Isn't that amazing? And then there's this dim-witted actor, and he is a dim-witted actor. His name is Mark Ruffalo. And Mark Ruffalo, on Saturday, was parading around with a bunch of left-wing numbskulls like himself, babbling incoherently as they will do. It was on Saturday during the No Kings March. And liberals will tell you, oh, there were 8 million protesters, thousands of protest sites. And at the Trump, it was actually the U.S. Army 250th birthday parade in Washington last Saturday. My best girl and I were there. They will tell you, and I had a liberal tell me this, yeah, there were 8,000 people. This is what he said, 8,000 people at the U.S. Army rally. And we had 8 million people nationwide at thousands of rallies. And then they attacked Fort Sumter again because the Democrat Party is a violent gang of... here is this alleged actor, Mark Ruffalo, the No Kings rally. They really love... They despise Trump. He's only been shot once, and they've only tried 2 more times at least that we know of to shoot and kill him like 3 other Republican presidents. And then Ronald Reagan was shot, of course, and Gerald Ford was shot at twice, including by a member of the Manson family, Lynette Squeaky Fromm. Pay no attention to that. And a housewife named Sarah Jane Moore, because Democrats really inspire women, I think, don't they? And Donald Trump was shot, of course, and then Steve Scalise was at the congressional baseball game last week, and he was shot by a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer. Did I mention that Bernie Sanders honeymooned in the Soviet Union, and that Lee Harvey Oswald's wife came from the Soviet Union? I think here's the not very good actor Mark Ruffalo at their so-called No Kings rally on Saturday.
Sadly, today Donald Trump and the administration of billionaires, crackpots, and ice brigades have taken over. We have a king and his court and his beige henchmen, and making us less safe with their love of other kings and dictators and the likes of Putin and Netanyahu and Kim Jong-un of the world.
Yeah, the Kim Jong-un and the beige. He said the beige and the billionaires. Aren't you the party of George Soros? And isn't Alex Soros now in charge of the Democrat Party? Hasn't he taken over? Because he inherited what his father stole from banks, and now... we didn't even talk about this, but he married Humma Weiner. Alex Soros, the corrupt son of a corrupt father, George Soros, who literally fleeced and corrupted and bankrupted banks to become a multi-billionaire so he could fuel the left-wing hate machine in the United States, which is violent every time you look up. And Alex Soros, grabbing his daddy's money and standing on it, to make him seem taller than he really is, married Humma Weiner, who, of course, and the Clintons were there at the wedding at the billionaire estate on the water in New York in the Hamptons, because when you're a Democrat, why would you even hide it? They don't even hide it anymore. Hey, let's have a formation of my private jets fly over my $90 million estate on the water in the Hamptons in New York, while Alex Soros, not exactly Cary Grant by any stretch of the imagination, marrying Humma Weiner, because she's not exactly Grace Kelly either. And they got married at this billionaire estate. And when you're a Democrat, this is all perfectly normal. This is absolutely normal stuff. Just Just great. So and what is it? The billionaire? Aren't you the guys? The Silicon Valley party? Elon Musk was one of yours until you drove him away, and he's the richest man in the world. And of course, you have Bill Gates, Democrat billionaire. Just go down the list of billionaires, and you'll find the same list as the list of Democrat Party donors. And for these idiots to babble about his billionaire and their beige, they weren't beige when they ripped through Atlanta and burned it. That'd be the American Civil War again. The Democrats were the Confederate States of America. Aren't they amazing? Just great stuff.
We have a king and his court and his beige henchmen, and making us less safe.
Yeah, making us less safe. How is that so? Because I've actually observed, and the statistics bear this out, that the homicide rate in the United States has been plummeting since we said, hey, how about if all you illegal alien gang members go back to whatever beep hole you fled from, because we're going to try to cut back on the rapes and murders that the Democrats applaud, and they do. The Democrat Party they're not good neighbors, are they? No, they're not.
And the administration of billionaires, crackpots, and ICE brigades have taken over.
ICE brigades, oh no, there they go, enforcing immigration law again. You don't want to enforce the law. The anarchists are in charge, the billionaire anarchists. They all have private security. They're in charge of the Democrat Party. And I don't know, how many things can they burn? Burn the Jewish governor's mansion in Pennsylvania, burn Teslas everywhere, see him shoot up Tesla dealerships, everything. Yesterday I was behind a Tesla with an apology bumper sticker on the back of his Tesla, and they've got a whole new industry, because we're America, buying stickers apologizing for the car you bought, even though it was the Democrat Party that told you to buy it. These people, can I just say? Let's tell you what, Mike, let's take a telephone call. I still haven't gotten to Barack Obama. I need to get to Barack Obama. But right now, let's go to, I'm going to get to Barack, and to Bill Clinton. They weren't even together. And what do you hear Barack Obama? Sounds like there might be something wrong with his health. He might be in failing health. He should maybe go to his mansion that in Hawaii that used to be the Magnum PI mansion that he bulldozed. Or maybe go to his mansion on by the mosque in Washington, or go to his mansion on Martha's Vineyard where his chef died while paddleboarding under very mysterious circumstances. Pay no attention to any of that. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Mitch, calling from Leesburg, Virginia. Mitchell, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Mitch, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Mitch. I'm Chris. You're Mitch.
Hey, did I call you Mitch? I apologize.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
I was just reacting to.
Uh-oh. I was just reacting to. And then you skipped out. Oh, they got him. The NSA got him. That's it. I think it might have been a cruise missile strike in Leesburg, Virginia. Mitch? I think maybe Mitch.
And,
hey, there you are. Now you're back.
I so apologize. But yeah, I don't know about you. I guess you probably do pretty well, Chris, but I don't have any servants that work for me. I wash my own dishes. I do my own laundry. I cook my own food. And, I worked in Border Patrol for a number of years, and legal immigrants don't have anything to be scared of right now. ICE is only sacking up illegal aliens, and they're only focused on the bad ones right now. But the point that I really wanted to make is every time a Democrat talks about it's so scary that we're going to have to wash our own dishes, we just need to bleep it out and say you're going to have to pick your own cotton, because that's really what they're saying.
It really is.
That's my point.
It truly is. No, Mitch, you got it. I'm glad that your phone came back together for us. That's great stuff. You worked, you say, for Border Patrol for years?
I did. I worked for a number of years for United States Border Patrol.
That is great, and you're absolutely right. I mean, this is the party of the bullwhip and the plantation and the Confederate States of America and wearing gray. I think they should all go back to wearing gray uniforms now, including Whoopi Goldberg, whose real name is Karen Johnson, and she works for ABC News. You're right. I mean, they are revealing themselves, aren't they, Mitch? If you're listening and paying attention, the Democrat Party they're not good neighbors.
Yep, illegal aliens are just modern-day slaves.
Yep. Yeah, and they can abuse them, and and use them. Absolutely true. And you're right. No, I don't have any servants. I don't. No, I'm just in radio and a little bit of TV, but no servants for me. I think every now and then my best girl has a woman come by and help clean our apartment in the city. But we don't have a lawn. We do our own dishes. We cook our own food and mostly clean our own place. And then work. You know, work like 16 hours a day, 15 hours a day anyway, for sure. Mitch, thank you. And saluting you, Border Patrol work. Thank you, man. 888-630-9625.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump? Oh.
Now, sending someone a pizza is a new hate crime. I'll explain that one coming up. And what was I reminded of when I saw this story? I'll share that with you. Right now, Michael, let us go back to the telephones. I've got Barack Obama for you. I've got Bill Clinton for you. These are not quality people. But you know who is a quality person? Louie, calling from Arkansas. That's who. Louie, you're on the Chris Plant Show. Uh-oh.
Talk to you again, man.
Hey, Louie, there you are.
Hello?
I got you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just calling. I'm glad to talk to you. You're my favorite guy to listen to in the car every day.
Thank you.
I was calling because you guys were talking about illegals, and I read a story last week and kept on reading more, and it's been going on for years. But in the Hamptons, they were saying that all the rich people's mansions they get taken care of. The illegals are taking care of them, and they know they're illegals because they interviewed them and they told them that they can't go nowhere, so they live in the woods and they build these little shacks. And I read a story going back to 2022 on the New York Post. So these people, they're okay.
Well, you know, somebody's got to wipe their desktops and their tabletops and do their dishes and clean their toilets. We've just been playing audio of the Democrats talking about what they say are illegal aliens doing all these menial chores for them because the Democrats and the Hamptons, that's what I was just talking about, the Hummo Wiener and Alex Soros wedding.